HaMitzvah, HaMitzvah, Hashmone B'Shivim, 78. He shetzivonu, Zamar, Lahotzi Iso. Lahotzi. Okay, so here just to translation of the word, in both in Ibn Tibin and Ibn Ayoib, it says Lahotzi. However, in Kapach, he translates Lahafresh. It means Lahafresh Ma'aser Behema. The now, just for your edification, you can decide what you want to do with this yourself. The Arabic word, which is the Judeo-Arabic word, which is in the text, the Ram's text, is the same Arabic word which you find in Mitzvah from Kuf Chav Hey to Kuf Lamed. And there also is this issue because Ibn Tibin, Ibn Ayoib, and Kapach have the same issue. And it's all the mitzvahs of Afrosha, of Trumas and Maises, whatever. So it's you can decide it's Lahoitzi, but that's what it means. We call the Hafresh. The Rambam in the Protei Mitzvahs and Uchas Bechoros and in the Protei Mitzvahs Uchas Bechoros, in Uchas Bechoros Perek Vav Aloch Aleph is that it's Lahafresh. And whichever way you want it, whether it's Lahoitzi or Lahafresh, it means Hafrosh's Ma'aser Behema. That's the Rambam. The Ma'aser Mitzvah is certainly Hafrosha. In Perek Vav Aloch Aleph, it was Bechoros. Mitzvah Lahafresh Echol Me'asor Mikol Behemois Tehoros Sheyivoldu La'odom B'chol Shana V'Shana. Ve'ei mitzvah Zoheges El Bokor Tzon Shenema B'chol Ma'aser Bokor Tzon V'chol. This posik, this mitzvah is learned from the posik v'chol ma'asar bokor v'tzayin v'chol asher ya'בור tachas hashovet or asir yakolish l'Hashem. The lashon of the posik yakolish l'Hashem is, one would assume that part of the mitzvah is to be noyeg kedusha in the asiri. Hasiri yeh kodesh. The whole process of Afrosha, Knisa L'dir, going out of the Pesach of the corral, the minion of the Behemois, one would have said that it's only a Hakdomo and has nothing to do with the mitzvah, as one would have said in Shorish Asiri. But the Rambam doesn't do that. And the Rambam says that the mitzvah, that Hafrosh is the mitzvah, so it's not Akdom. And you get the impression that it's an Afrosha that the Asiri should be Kodesh. And then it comes out that the Ma'aser mitzvah is the Hafrosha. You also get that impression from the Hillel in his Pirush of the Sefer, in Bechukosai, Parsha Hey, Perek Yud Gimel Ois Hey, Minayin Shemaisa Behema V'chulei, Mishum Deleksiv Bei Aser Ta'aser, Ki Heichi Diksiv Gabe Dogon Tirush V'Yitzro, El Kol Sheyavo Tachas HaShevet, Umashmoi Yavo In Iloi Loi Yavo Loi, Ulochi Komar, Minayin Shemaisa Behema Tamaloima, Yeh Kodesh, the mashma asrehu shia kodesh. So it means that the mitzvah is not the niug of kedusha in the ma'aser behema, but the hafrosha that it should be kodesh. So it's a very interesting thing. Kol sheyavo tachas Hashem v'asir kodesh. That the Assyria Kodesh is defining Asher Yavo Tachas Hashevet, that there's a Ma'aser mitzvah of Afrosha. It's an amazing thing. There is a possibility which you have to evaluate. Let's see, get the impression from the Rambam, very possibly, that the niug of the akrova, domo, and the achil Yerushalayim is also part of the mitzvah. So it means maybe that the Yeh Kodesh not only defining the Afrosha, but you should be noyeh b'kedushasa. For example, the mitzvah Tamura in Pei Zayin, the mitzvah is v'hoyehu usmos Yeh Kodesh. And we'll see a mitzvah that much more barichas bli neder. We get to mitzvah Tamura that the mitzvah Yeh Kodesh is to be noyeg a kedushas korban with the Tamura. And that the Ravoi in the mitzvah say Kuf Yutes, the lashon of the pasuk is Yeh Kodesh, and there also the mitzvah is the niug of the Ravoi b'kedushasa. The niug of the Tmura b'kodesh v'akrova, and the niug of Ravoi is v'achil Yerushalayim. Similarly, not only the akrova schalba, but the achil Yerushalayim. So again, this is an amal. This is the pu'ula, the ma'aser afrosha, that should be kodesh. A ma'aser afrosha should be kodesh for akrova and achil Yerushalayim. However, this is not like regular tevel. In regular tevel, there is an isa on the tevel before afrosha. Here in Ma'aser Behema, there's no isa It's not like tvua. The behema is a mutter lachila before the afrosha. The Rambam in Hilchos Becheres in Perek Zayin Halacha Ches, Kobo Hachom Shloish Zmanim, Bashona L'Ma'aser, L'Ma'aser Behem Sheyagia Zman Mehen, also L'Limko or Lishchoy Ad She'aser V'Im Shochat Harei Ze Muteres. So it means there's no Isa. It's just that you don't want to be Mavatal in Mitzvah Frosha, but there's no Isa like Teva. Rashi in Becheres, Nun Zayin Beis, they were Maskul Sholosh Gronois. Umishiagia, Haperek, Lo Yochal Mehen Lachatchila Midirabonon. Below Maaser, Avol in Koidem. Lochein, Avol Koidem Lochein Mutter, the Mitzvah Ba'almahu, La'aseh Be'emoisav Do Asiri HaKodesh. Me'acha shekol of Shem, avo before avo, I shoes biyodoi le'ochloi b'loi ma'aser. There's no tevel. Further, now it's very similar that we saw in the Rambam, in Reishis Hagez, that the Rambam has sometimes the mitzvah afrosha or tevel. And in Reishis Hagez, he also talks about afrosha in Sefer HaMitzvos and Shirish Yud Beis. We discussed the Ramban Shita there in Shirish Yud Beis. Okay. Lahotzi Esau means one behema out of 10. He's mafwish. If there are 10 behemoths, he's mafwish one of them. Now, here's a very interesting lashon. Let's now move on to this. The lashon over here is ma sheyivoled lanu b'chol shana v'shana. Ma sheyivoled lanu b'chol shana v'shana. So one can ask a question here. In Trumas Maisris, in Trumas and Maisris, it's also you're not mafresh mishona chavata. So why peculiarly over here it talks about b'chol shana v'shana, and there it doesn't mention b'chol shana v'shana. And furthermore, until this is the guy here, the din of kol shana v'shana is learned by Trumas. It was learned from Trumas and Maisis. So if the Ram doesn't mention by Trumas and Maisis, why should he mention it by Maisis Behema? The Rambam in Perek Zayin Hilchos Becheres Halacha Hey Ein Maasrim min anolodim b'shona zu al anolodim b'shona acheres kishem she'ein maasrin b'zera ha'oretz min achodesh al ha'yoshan v'lo min ha'yoshan al ha'chodesh. The Rambam there says explicitly that this is where it comes from. We learn it from Trumas and Maisris. And the Ram goes further there and says, V'oli, Shemisa behema mishana al shana, hari ze maaseh miminei chumas hakochim, shari loik pida teira al maaseh behema b'feiru shiyeh b'shana b'shana. So he says, it doesn't say. It doesn't say by maaseh behema. Right? It doesn't say the din of shana b'shana, only says it by tfuah. So b'di'evid, if you mafish mishana chavato, itak is chal. Whereas in tumas and ma'aser not chal. So even more of a reason that we ask ourselves, what's going on? Why is it mentioned here and not there? Suggestion? The Rambam here is not interested in the din of Ein Mafrish and Mishana Chavato. But he's interested in the Kfir Shiur, the Yechai v'Maaseh Behema. You need 10 behemoths. And you need 10 behemoths of the same year. So you have 5 behemoths with this year. And the high behemoths of that year, there's no Afrosha. In Trumas and Ma'aser, the Chiyuv Hafrosh is on Koshu. So there's no Shiur. The whole din of Shana B'Shana was only reflected itself in Ein Mafrish B'Shana Chavato. So it's not only a din Ein Mafrish by Ma'aser Behema B'Shana Chavato, but there's no Shiur of Afrosha. And then, if that's true, this din of Yeroli is only when there's a Shiur of Chiyuv of one Shana, 10 in the same Shana. See, Mafresh Mishana Chavato, so with the evidence Chal. But if Lamaisi is all you have is 5 from this year and 5 from the other year, there's no Chiyuv. And it's not Chal. Look at the Osameach there in that Rambam. There was Bechoris. Okay, Beseder. This idea of the all leader, but the evidence chal, Achreinim talk about it, I'm not getting involved in it. Okay? Tozroim, okay. Tozroim, Trumois, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Gimel. Beseder. Now, the Kitzi is, the mitzvah is on Bekor וצאן. Mikol behema tehera. That's the Rambam in Perek Vov of Hilchos Bechoros Halach Aleph Mitzvos Aseh lahafrish echad me'asor mikol behemis tehera sheyivoldu li'odam b'chol shana v'shana v'ein mitzvah zu noheges ela b'bekor וצאן bilvad shenema b'chol מעשר bekor וצאן. The Ram says, "V'nakriv chelbo v'domo." It could be the Rambam is makpid to write "V'nakriv chelbo v'domo" because nakriv is very powerful because the mitzvah on Bekor from dom is shvicha, not zrika. On Ma'aser Behema Bekor Pesach. Velahakriv chelbo v'domo. Velahakriv is a very powerful term and can be used on both of them. It's a shvich on Yisrael Mizbeach. Now, it's l'chdera. One would have said that the Domo and the Chelbo are not a peculiar din in Ma'aseh Behema, because the din of Shvichas Domo and Aktoras Chelbo is not learned from Ma'aseh Behema. It's a and the din Akrovas Chelbo V'Domo is part of the Ma'aseh Shlomim. As the Ram says, that Shlom is not limited to Shlomim, but it's those that are included in Shlomim. It's not in the midst of Ma'aseh Behema. The Raya that the Chel B'Dom is a din Akrova is Mipia Shmu is Nilma from Bechor, not from Ma'aseh Behema. This second. Yeah. The Ram put the mitzvahs. In the beginning, it was Bechoros. V'kolalti ha'ma'aser im ha'bechor lefi shema'aser shneim echod v'akosem kol lo imoy shenemo es domam tizraik, which was said by Bechor in Pashas Korach, Kain lomdu mipi hashmua shezeh dam ma'aser v'dam bechor. And the Ram quotes the din haktoris emurim of Ma'aseh Behema and Bechor in Hilchos Ma'aseh Korbanos. Kol Zvokim. So like this. In Hilchos Ma'aseh Korbanos, Perek Hey, Halacha Yud Zayin v'Yud Ches. Habechor v'Ma'aser v'Pesach dam kol echod mehen ton matona achas b'shvicha keneged Yisrael be'eze ruach sheyirtze misholosh zovyois hamizbeach shehai kerem mizroch is droimis lo hoya lo Yisrael kmo shebianu minayin shenem tun men matona achas shehai nema bechor es domim tizrok v'es chalom taktir. מפי השמואל למדו, שהוא הדין במעשר בפסח, שנוסן דומון במתון האחס כבכור. כל הזבוחים מקטירים אמורים אגבי המזבח, אחרי שזורקים דום תחילו. And כל הזבוחים includes בכל מעשר in Pesach. And this is like the Ram Pirush Mishnayis in the 5th parak in Zvochim and in the Akdama to Zvochim in Madura Basra, that the Rambam includes other things besides Shlomim, B'chol Maisim, that's the Kavod is B'chol Maisim Pesach. In that category. The Rambam also, remember, the Rambam is like this. He says in Hilchos Becheres, Perek Vav Halacha Daled, V'din ma'aseh behema v'chulei v'shar habosa nechal lebailim b'Yerushalayim kishar kochi kalim. Again, it's not a peculiar din in ma'aseh behema. It's a like kochi kalim. Then the Ram continues, V'nochal anasnu hashar b'Yerushalayim. Hashar. So it means the whole behema for the Ma'aseh behema is nechal lebailim. Kohanim don't even have chozav v'shoik. It's not like Shlomim in that regard. But the bailim have nothing. Which is like Rashi, ala Torah. Vayikol chav zayin lamed gimel, divrei maschal yeh kodesh, likorev lemizbeach, domoi ve'emurov, v'abosa nechal lebaalim, shari loi nimne im shar matnes kohuna, v'lomotzinu, loi sheyehe nita lekohanim. There's no din of kohanim in Ma'aseh behema. There's some that hold the Ma'aseh behema is cool kohanim kohen. Chedush Ritva and Shabbos and Daled Beis, the Mazhodi Amrino and Treisa. Chedush Ritva b'Metzia Zayin Aleph, the Maschal v'chein Yisrael sheish lo asara. Shigmu betes b'Metzia Zayin Aleph, the Maschal Mafresh Aleim Asara saying. Miri b'Metzia Zayin and Aleph, Zayin and Beis, the Maschal Sofik, Yerucham Perlau in the Essen, Aseh Pei Vav, Pei Zayin, Pei Ches. Suggests that of Sadi going it's Kula Kohan. Rav Sadi Goin in his Sefer HaMitzvos, L'maisa, that was Rabbi Yochanan Perl suggested, takes the position that only the chozav v'shoik of the Ma'aseh behema is nitan v'nechal kohanim, like Shlomim. In his Sefer HaMitzvos, Rav Sadi Goin, which is recently published, Perek Chav, page 212, v'tziva al, and there's a little bit left out. Asiras soinom u'bekorom v'yalu es ha'maisa lemikdash וינהגו בו כדרך שנוהגים בזרח השלומים, בחלק המזבח וחלק הכהנים. וחלק המזבח וחלק הכהנים. שאומר, וכל מעשר בכור וצאן, כל אשר יעבור תחת השבט או עשירי יהיה בגוי. Now, אומרים בכל מעשר בכור וצאן, וכל אשר יעבור תחת השבט, אשר לקדש, טקסט לרמב"ם, וזהו מעשר בהמה. כבר הסבורים משפטי מצוות פרק אחרון בחורס, ושום מזבויה שזוהי המצווה נוהגת בחוץ לארץ, גם כן. ושלא בפני הבייס, וזהו דין תורה. אוקיי? מדבר ישראל, מדרבנן. אוקיי, we'll see, we לא היה מפרש. The Rambam, in the whole mitzvah here, there's no discussion. He doesn't mention what the din is of Ma'aser Behema B'Amum. He only talks about Ma'aser Behema Royal Mizbeach. The Ram says in Uchos Bechiris that it's Necha B'Mumai. There's no mention here. It's very interesting. Now, so we just said, the Ram says, Shezois HaMitzvah is noheges l'chutz la'aretz, gam kein. Pashtus is that the Ma'aser Behema for chutz la'aretz is brought to Yerushalayim and Nikrav. In mitzvah ayin tes, in Bechor chutz la'aretz is not Nikrav. Mishnah Torah also, because Bechor is perek alva l'chehei. We'll see about Bechor Mitzvah much more barichus. We get to the mitzvah and ayin tes. Ram continues. V'zeu Ma'aser Behema. That's what's called the mitzvah Ma'aser Behema. Ukfa hisbo mishpatei mitzvah zo. V'perek afroin mi'b'choros. V'shom hisbayir. Shezois hamitzvah noheges b'chutz la'aretz gam kein. Even there's no base of Mikdash, the mitzvah is timafresh. V'zeu din Torah. Aber b'gzeira d'Rabbanan shema yochal shaloi b'mum mipnei she'ein etzleinu Mikdash. The Omru, the Mishnah Perek, Test Mishnah Aleph, ain't on the regular Pnei Abayis. It's only Drabonon. Usheyeh Shom HaMikdash Bonui. But if there is a Beis HaMikdash, there's no Drabonon, even on Chutz La'aretz. Noi ba'aretz u'b'chutz la'aretz. Say that. So that is the mitzvah of Ma'aser Behema. Next, mitzvah Ayin Tes. He shetzivonu b'kiddush b'cheres. It's a very strange lashon. Kiddush b'cheres, which b'cheres we talk about? What are we talking about? What is this mitzvah? Kloima lahafrisham u'lahavdilam lema sheroi sheyaseh bohem. V'amu yis'ale kaddish likol b'chor. Kaddish likol b'chor pet korechem b'bnei Yisrael over behema. So we're talking about all the behavior. So we're talking about everything. So the mitzvah of Kiddush B'cheres, which is clearly everything, that's what it seems to say. He shetzivonu b'Kiddush B'cheres, kloima la'afrishom la'avdilom l'ma sheroi sheyaseh behem v'u'amar yis'aleh kaddish likol b'chor. Each one, or that the Kiddush is holding it for that which is loyal to him. Petro rechem b'nei Yisrael behema. U'mefurish b'Torah shezeis habehema hi בכור וצאן ומן חמור בלבד. The behema is בכור וצאן or חמור. וכבר נכבל. Okay. Now, the Rambam begins this mitzvah and says there's a mitzvah lahafrish or lahavdil, 3 types of becheres: behema teira, behema tmeya, and adam. And then he explains that the mitzvah over here is bechor behema teira. V'hi ha-mitzvah she'anachnu medabrim bo ata. So what's going on here? Is this the mitzvah of Bechor Behema Tehera, or is this all 3 together? So one approach is to say that this is not, all this is not part of the mitzvah, it's akdama to the next 3 mitzvahs. And after his akdama, the Ram says, and brings the mitzvah which is counted now, Kiddush B'chor Behema Teira. And we don't find such a case. The truth is, we don't find such a case. The Rama is Akdoma, putting three mitzvahs together and then saying, oh, we're going to talk about this one first. And then. Unless maybe that's not Pshat B'Chalangam, because it doesn't make any sense. He starts and says the mitzvah is Kiddush B'Chayris. Then he says that it's B'chor B'Hem. We don't know what's going on. He should have started before and said that there are three mitzvahs over here and then started counting. He seems to count and then just, so what does he want? So the way to say is that there's a mitzvah to mekadesh b'chor behema tehera behema tmei and adam, and this mitzvah is based on the pasuk of kadesh li kol b'chor pete kol rechem b'nei Yisrael behema lihu, which is koilel all three mitzvahs. And Enoch Inami. There's another pasuk called Bekor, called Bekor Shivole, but Kolcha B'Tzaincha Hazocha Takdish Lashem Elokecha, which is peculiar, which is the mitzvah Lekaddish Bekor Behema Tehera, and which is a nichpal of the mitzvah Kiddush Bekor. Interesting. The Rambam in the Minyan Mitzvah Kotzer, the mitzvah is only Kiddush Behema Tehera. In Mishnah Torah, the Rambam is mashma like it is over here in Sefer HaMitzvos, not like in the Minyan HaKotzer that the mitzvah is Kiddush B'chol Behema Tehera and that's it. Because the Rambam says in the Protei Mitzvahs, he says Lachafish B'cheres, and B'cheres, the mashmos is all different types. It's all three types. And then also in the halachas, he puts all three together. The Rambam is Becheres, Perek Aleph, Halacha Aleph, Mitzaseh, Lahafish, Kol Peta Rechem, Azchorim, Bein Ba'odam, Bein Bebehemo Tehera, Bein Miminachamo, Bein Shoyu Shleim, Bein Shoyu Trefos, Shenema Kadosh Yibachor, Kol Bechor, Peta Kol Rechem, B'nei Yisrael, B'odam Bekor Kohanim. There is, however, two separate mitzvahs of pidyon. The mitzvah of Kiddush is all of them. B'chor behemot, b'chor behemet tehera, b'chor behemet tmeya, b'chor adam. The mitzvah's pidyon is a peculiar mitzvah by b'chor adam and b'chor behemet tmeya. The Rambam in Hilchos Bikurim, Perek Yud Aleph Halacha Aleph, Mitzvah Say Lifta is called Ish Yisrael. Beno, Shehu B'chol Imo Yisrael Shenemo Kol Peter Rechem Li. V'nema Ach B'Podoi Tifte Es B'chol, it's a mitzvah's opinion. And Hilchos Bikurim Perek Yud Beis Halacha Aleph, B'chol Behem Tmei, Mitzvah Say Lifta Kol Odom Mi-Yisrael Pete Chamo B'Seh V'heim L'Koyen, as the Ram says in Perek Aleph Halacha Zayin Hilchos Bikurim. Next, so let's now read it now. Shivonu b'kiddush b'chayros. So it was l'kadesh the Bechor behema tehera lakrivo. L'chayr, what it means, and that's Mefurish Batosh is a behema he boko וצאן umin chamor bilvad ukvar nichbar atzivui hazeh b'chor behema tehera v'hi hamitzvah she'anachnu medaber bo ato. Now, the question is, what are you supposed to do? What is the mitzvah? La'afrishom, la'avdilom. They're tanoim b'cheres. You see, before we start, in behemot tehera, the mitzvah is la'afrishom lekadushes mizbeach. Or psul mekdosh is about movement. That means a korban. In behemot tmeya, it's la'afrishom for the din of Bechor behemot tmeya, which according to some tanoim is an isano. That is an isano to opinion. The Ram passes like that, and it was Bikurim Perek Yud Beis Halacha Dalet. That's okay. The question is, you see, have kedusha. You understand Kaddish Bechor. We understand what it is. Kaddish Bechor in Bechor behemot tehera. It's the mizbeach, ba'mum, whatever. Dinim. In Bechor behemot tmeya, there's an isando according to that Tanam we pass like. The question is, what's the mitzvah of Kaddish Bechor in Adam? In Pidyon, the separate mitzvah we understand. But what are you supposed to do? This, we actually need to stop here. This, I want you to think about before. Let's think about it. But I think also more important and more interesting, read all these mitzvahs. Read the mitzvah. of Bekor, Behema Tahira here, and Adam, and Petach Hamor, and Mitzvah Shem. We'll pick this up next week, Billy Nether.